I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge the very proud legacy of military service for graduates of New Berlin Eisenhower. This evening, this proud tradition of service continues with one of our graduating seniors, Taylor Freitag. Like many graduates of Eisenhower, Taylor will go on to serve our country in the armed forces as a member of the United States Army through the ROTC program at Western Kentucky University. However, I'd like to recognize Taylor individually, but she is currently competing with our softball team at state. So I hope she watches the YouTube video when the game is done. But in her honor, and in the honor of all who have served, I'd like to thank her and all of those who have served our country, past, present, and future. So, in honor of Taylor, and in her absence, I ask any of those in our audience who are veterans or active members of our military, please stand so that we can thank you for your service publicly. Thank you all. Now, before I launch into the typical words of advice that one gives in a graduation speech to the class of 2024, it would be wrong if I did not acknowledge all the family members and friends of our graduates here today. Now, graduates, you can't see them, but it's quite an impressive scene behind you. When you come across stage and you're very nervous to get your diploma, just take a look. It's amazing how many people are here to support you. It's hard to imagine all the feelings that must be bubbling up inside the guts of all of you as you watch your children graduate from high school and accept that diploma this evening. Seniors, as much as this day is about your accomplishments at Eisenhower, you could not have made it to this moment without the love and support of your family and friends. So you need to do me a favor. Tonight, don't be too cool, okay, to not give them a hug and tell them you love them, all right? Tonight you have to give your families and your friends love and hugs and tell them you love them. Also, there's going to be a lot of pictures, okay? Just say yes. Just say yes to it. Just pose for the pictures, okay? Don't roll the eyes. Just say yes. Just tonight, all right? They helped get you here. You owe that to them. And when they ask for pictures at the graduation party, like in a month, do those too, all right? You're all welcome. I got you all. All right. It's also appropriate to recognize all the wonderful contributions made by all of our New Berlin elementary schools in establishing a strong foundation for these graduates. I want to thank my immediate colleagues at Eisenhower for working tirelessly to build on that base and prepare these students for the challenges that lie ahead. Basically, what I'm trying to say, seniors, is that a whole bunch of people are responsible and helped get you here this evening, and I think you all owe all of them a round of applause. So seniors, how about you give a round of applause to all of those people here supporting you tonight. All right. Graduates, how we doing? Good. You walked in, you looked great. You all match. It's fantastic. Nicely done. Well, we're all here tonight, gathered to celebrate the culmination of years of your hard work, your growth, and all the memories that you've made. It's a big night. So I'm going to talk about me. Every year, I have to decide what to say in this moment. And that's a lot of pressure. Here's a fun fact about me. I tend to start writing this speech in my head in early May, and it always happens when I'm starting to cut my grass. For some reason, when I start to cut my grass, I start thinking about graduation. Those two things go together. And I realize we're shockingly close to the end of a school year. Coincidentally, I have a sister who's 3 years older than me, and she always sends me a text every year the first week of June. And she knows that I agonize over giving this speech, and she knows I rewrite and I rewrite and I rewrite draft after draft after draft. So she texts me like a sister who's 3 years older would. And every year it's the same text. And that text says, and I quote, "Hey, just remember I have absolutely no memory of what our principal said during his graduation speech." And here's the thing, we never talk about it. I never acknowledge it. We pretend it never happens. And for that reason, I'm not 100% sure what her intentions are. I don't know if she's trying to humble me, or if she's trying to inspire me, or if she's just challenging me. But, I guess we'll see how this goes, right? So, graduates, I get to talk to you tonight on behalf of the faculty who've had the joy of watching you grow. They're eager to see what amazing things you'll do once you get out into the world. Now, at first blush, you may think that their jobs are that. Their primary job really is to get you ready for the bigger world, but I have to tell you this evening, that's just half of it. Really, the goal was to give you the tools you need to live a life with meaning, what some people, I think, would call a good life. Our job is to provide you with tools so that when you're faced with choices in your lives, you're prepared to attack them. You see, being an educator means you live your life balanced between eternal optimism and delayed gratification. And here's the life tip for all of you. Your future is not something that will happen to you, but it is something you will create with the choices that you make. I also want to tell you about two other things that have happened to you at your time at Eisenhower that maybe you don't know about. The first is that you're all awesome at being focused and strategic thinkers. You have your post-secondary plans laid out. You followed your ACP. You have the next steps in your lives laid out. I dare say you've even been conditioned for this, right? Think about the scientific method. Think about writing a thesis. Think about the art of analytical research, all those things you love. Plan ahead. Memorize the formulas. Apply logic. And anticipate how they're going to be applied. In all these things, your process informs the outcome. If you have the right process, you're taught, the desired outcome will emerge. Some of you sitting here have a plan. You have your outcome in mind. And that's awesome. It's one of the things we've literally trained you to do. And it's literally why you're getting a diploma here this evening, because you did the things we asked you to do. It's also why after all of you leave here, you're going to go do cool stuff. But there's another part of it that you need to know before you leave. Your teachers and the educators at Eisenhower had another secret lesson that they've been trying to instill in you for the past 4 or 6 years. To understand it, you need to understand that everybody on the planet constantly makes choices. And those choices are made for a person that doesn't exist. But those choices are made for a future you. You're making choices in your life for something and someone that doesn't yet exist. That's your future self. And because of that, I want you to understand that it's critically important to use your strategic brains, to use your logic, apply that logic, but also understand and be comfortable that it doesn't always reach the desired outcome. And that's okay. You see, there's going to be times when adulthood will ask you to set aside childhood wonder or curiosity or open-mindedness for the sake of achieving a particular outcome. There'll be a moment when you ask yourself, I wonder what's going to happen next. And it will be terrifying because it threatens to upend a plan that you've put into place or an outcome that you want to happen because you think you know how your story is supposed to go. Some adults, believe it or not, spend decades trying to twist and turn the world into something they've conceived themselves or convinced themselves is the only acceptable outcome for them. You're going to be tempted to do this. It's not your fault. We're all conditioned to do that. It's easy for us to get tricked into thinking that if we're smart enough, or we work hard enough, or we make enough money, or we spend enough money, or we bake enough cookies for our kids' soccer team snacks, that somehow we can force the puzzle pieces of life to fit together the way we want them to. And if the pieces fit, well, then everything's going to be okay. I can't tell you how many things I've messed up in my life because I thought I knew how the puzzle pieces were supposed to go together. I know some of the happiest moments, though, are the ones when I accepted that I should stop trying to smash those puzzle pieces together and just ride it out. And seniors, the reason I'm telling you this is because on behalf of your teachers, on your very last day of high school, all of the lessons that you've learned in their classes and beyond, this is the hardest one to internalize. Don't assume you know how the story of your life is supposed to go. Your teachers didn't know who the future you was going to be, but they knew that they had to humble you to inspire you, or to challenge you, to help you become the future you. Because someday someone is going to ask each of you a question that you're not prepared to answer. It will be when you consider a job you never knew you wanted, or you'll be asked to stay when you really want to go, or you'll be asked to go when all you really want to do is stay. But sometimes the choices that scare us the most and the decisions we have to make bring about the best of outcomes, even if they're unplanned. So all of us at Eisenhower know that you have all those tools to make those choices and to make those outcomes great, the expected and the unexpected. So today, when you step off this stage and into the next phase of your lives, we know and we trust that you're ready for those moments. Your time at Eisenhower is over. So many known things are going to go away in your lives, and a lot of unknown is coming at you. But please know that you'll be lions forever, and the choices for your lives begin here and now. I hope you enjoy this evening. Please know everybody at Eisenhower is incredibly proud of you. We want only the best for you. Congratulations to the Eisenhower class of 2024. I'm going to send that to my sister. We have a tradition here at Eisenhower of having outstanding student speeches at graduation. It's a tradition that I expect to uphold again this year, as we have every other year I've been present. I'd like our audience to know that any member of the graduating class has the opportunity to speak at graduation. Students can submit anonymously an essay that they would like to present, which is then reviewed and approved and selected by a panel of Eisenhower staff and administration. This year, for the class of 2024, I'm very excited to hear what our students have to say. Our first student speaker this evening will be Julia Sharp. Julia, please come join me on stage. Julia will be attending Minnesota State at Mankato next year. During her time at Eisenhower, Julia took advantage of our health careers pathway, which sparked her future plans. You have to stand there while I talk about you now. You okay? All right, good. She'll explore a major at Minnesota State at Mankato in nursing and psychology. She was a member of HOSA, our prom committee, played basketball and volleyball while a student at Eisenhower. She was also a contributor to our yearbook and a member of our UNICEF club. Her teachers describe her as friendly, reflective, spontaneous, determined, caring, and a bit sassy. Mrs. Rain shared with me that Julia was a free spirit who loves to laugh and is at her best when being creative. When she's passionate about something, her excitement is evident, and she can get the whole class or group laughing and excited too. Julia's creative side was also worthy of note in her English class, where Mrs. Donlin let me know she would often create powerful poetry and other written pieces in her class. All of her teachers commented about how impressed they are all of her teachers commented about how impressed they are with your creative mind. I can't wait to hear what you're going to share with us this evening. So please, everybody, help me welcome a very excited, maybe nervous, Julia Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Buckley. Good afternoon, administrators, teachers, parents, siblings, friends, and family, and of course, the graduating class of 2024. To begin, on behalf of all of my classmates, we thank each and every person here today for your part in our success over the past several years. Parents, without you dragging us out of bed each morning or blowing up our phones after seeing our locations weren't at school, many of us wouldn't be sitting here today. Teachers, thank you for putting up with the constant question of, is this summative or formative? To which many of you responded, I'm not going to tell you. Administrators, your ability to be everywhere and anywhere was honestly impressive. Family members and friends, thank you for sticking by our sides and supporting us, regardless of how much success we saw. Today truly would not be possible without each of you. Class of 2024, I want to congratulate you for everything you have achieved leading up to today. Every test you aced, every game or competition you've won, passing your driver's test, winning an Ikeway, every part you got in a play or musical, every college or employer you impressed, every AP test you studied hard for and passed, and much, much more. We each have achieved so much in our 13 years of education, and I congratulate you for all of your successes, big or small. I also want to congratulate you on all of your failures. Now, some of you might be wondering why I would congratulate you for failing. Failure is one of the most dreaded words in the English language because no one wants to fail. But it is a part of daily life. Failure shouldn't scare you away from taking a risk because many times our biggest successes come from stepping out of our comfort zones. When we are able to get comfortable with the idea of failing, we can achieve so much more. In a TV commercial, Michael Jordan once said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Michael Jordan could have easily given up on all of his hopes and dreams when he missed a shot or messed up in a game, but he didn't. He worked hard and he pushed through his mistakes. This is true for all of us here today. We often correlate failure with the word bad or negative. We should start to correlate it with the word motivation. There are going to be times where we fail over and over before we reach our end goals or our own ideas of success. And many times won't be easy, and it definitely will not happen overnight. We have to be comfortable with taking risks, which many times will come with mistakes, in order to achieve our end goals. Each one of us will fail in just about every aspect of our life. But don't let this scare you. Let it motivate you to push harder and become a stronger person. By failing, we are able to learn valuable lessons about ourselves and the world, and in return, it shapes our lives and who we can and will become. As we move forward in our lives, we will start to have our first all over again. We will yet again have to get used to a new atmosphere. We will be the new people at a college or a job. We will set goals, change these goals, or we might realize along the way that these previous goals are something we no longer want to work towards. We will fail a big test that we thought we studied hard enough for. Some of us will play a sport and make mistakes in a game. We might get in a fight with friends or parents and feel like our world has just crashed down around us. We will all probably apply for a job and not get it. But each of us will also flourish. We will ace that test or get a raise at our jobs. We will make new friends. We will take a risk on something new and realize that we actually really like it. We will reach bigger and bigger goals. We will all find our ways to success, whatever that might be. Today we will walk away with confidence in not only our victories, but in our failures as well, the not so shiny stuff. Sure, we would never put a test we failed on a plaque or even receive an award for a mistake in a game, but those failures brought us to this very moment. While today is a milestone in our lives, I hope we can all take the time to acknowledge all of the things that have gone wrong. Celebrate the journey, even if it was a long and exhausting one. Class of 2024, our time together is coming to an end. Our normal for the past 6 years has been inside of the same building with the same people. We have listened to morning announcements, listened to the Ikeway announcements every Friday, had to ask to use the restroom, and definitely looked forward to our open campus. But we will soon step into a world that is unfamiliar, and we each will start to create our own unique paths. As we part ways, I want each of you to try to be a yes person. Say yes to invitations. Say yes to that job you don't think you'll be very good at. Say yes to meeting new friends. Say yes to new opportunities. Say yes to learn something new. It may feel a bit edgy and out of your comfort zone, but always ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen if I fail? As Michael Jordan learned, missed shots, lost games, and other failures were necessary for him to become one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Just think what each one of us could achieve if we rebound from failure and use it to better ourselves. I challenge each of you to expand your comfort zones and don't be afraid to say yes. Never let failure have the last word. Congratulations, class of 2024, and thank you.
Outstanding, Julia. Thank you so much. Gotta get the next speech ready. There it is. All right. Our next student speaker this evening is going to be Lauren Teese. Lauren, please make your way on up. When I asked you, oh yeah, absolutely. Give her a round of applause, for sure. When I asked our teachers about Lauren, she was described as hardworking, funny, positive, and many used derivatives of the word loud. Words like outgoing, hyper-friendly, and one of them, and I kid you not, typed me an email and it said, OMG, 100% not shy. Apparently she is Eisenhower's leading food critic, and one of her teachers also let me know that Lauren has very passionate opinions about which hummus flavors go paired with each food's best. Yeah, okay, good. Mrs. Solomon shared that Lauren is one of a kind, and that what makes her truly special is how she interacted with a predominantly 8th grade Spanish 2 class as a senior student aide. She took the time to get to know each and every one of those 8th graders and genuinely enjoyed working with them. Most student aides can sit back and make copies or laminate, but Lauren was an integral part and leader in that class. Lauren will be going to continue her education next year as a Golden Gopher at the University of Minnesota. She intends on majoring in finance, but shared with me that she also plans to dabble with minors of Spanish and data science. In case she's not going to be busy enough, she also plans to be on the cheer team at Minnesota. Needless to say, I think she's going to be very busy. It's my privilege to welcome and introduce our second student speaker this evening, Lauren Teese.
Oh gosh. Thank you, Mr. Buckley. Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Teese. You may have seen me around, or not, but you've definitely heard me. I'm really loud. And I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to put a microphone in front of me, but oh well. I want to start my speech by saying thank you to everyone for being here, and congratulations to the New Berlin Eisenhower class of 2024 on graduating. It is unbelievable that many of us first walked into Ike as nervous 7th graders, and in just a few moments, we will be walking out as confident graduates. I'm sure many of us can agree our first day of classes at Ike was an intimidating experience. Many of us will experience the unknown again at various points in our lives, such as right now, where for the first time in 13 years, we won't have a schedule provided to us by the New Berlin School District. However, I am certain we have nothing to worry about, as the risks we have taken throughout our careers as Eisenhower students have prepared us for whatever comes next. I'm sure many of you are thinking, what risks? Personally, the riskiest thing I've done this year is wake up at 7 a.m. for my 8-hour class, which isn't super convenient when the class is on the opposite side of the school. Sorry, Mr. Dwyer. As seniors, many of us have leadership roles in sports and clubs, and our workloads often include about 3 classes, some extracurriculars, and maybe a part-time job. We've gained confidence in ourselves and found routine in our schedules, so high school no longer seems so scary. However, if you look back just a few years, sports, clubs, classes, and everything else had us overthinking our entire day. Going into freshman year and trying out for a sport was the biggest deal. Everyone was thinking, what if I don't make the team? But you still went ahead and tried out, and newsflash, everyone makes it, we don't do cuts here. Although your journey may have started with JV1 or JV2, many of us are now team captains of the sports we play. We were able to walk into tryouts for our sports this year as confident as ever. The coaches knew our names and the assets we would bring to the varsity team. At Ike, there are clubs and activities for everyone. Whether it be theater, student union, NHS, or one of the many other opportunities, many of us have found our niche. Some of us made it speeches to be a part of the executive teams of clubs and thought, what if they don't like my speech or I'm not a good fit for the position? First of all, relatable. Second of all, what if you were the best fit for the position? Without taking the risk of trying out for one of the leadership roles, what you could bring to the club, the school, and the community would be left unknown. At some point in our high school career, I'm sure all of us have asked an upperclassman about a specific class and heard the words, OMG, do not take that class unless you absolutely have to. Worst decision of my life, never again, I was literally about to fail it. And we still took the class. At the time, the possibility of not having a perfect grade in the class may have been our biggest concern. But I am sure that one class isn't affecting any of our futures right now, as all of us are on our way to doing great things. Not to mention the countless teachers in the school dedicated to helping every one of us when we were struggling with content. And who knows, maybe one of those classes with the scariest reputations, the classes you had to work the hardest in, spiked your interest in something you are continuing to study in your future. I took a risk writing this speech. I've never been the best public speaker, which I know probably shocks some of you who are looking at me and thinking, isn't this the girl we voted for most talkative? Yeah, it is. But I decided to take the chance because although it may end up being the worst speech you've ever heard, it could also be somewhat decent, and who cares, I'm graduating, so why not take the risk? I think likely one of the only reasons I built up the courage to write this speech is because of the risks we've all taken in getting to know the people around us. As you get older, making friends isn't as easy as going up to another kid and asking, do you want to be friends and play on the playground? There's a fear of rejection, making it more difficult to get to know those around us. Yet by opening ourselves up to one another, many of us have found people and friendships we will cherish for a lifetime. Life is about taking risks, and without them, we would be stuck asking ourselves, what if? What if I approached someone I've never spoken to before and they became my best friend? What if I took that class that everyone said was boring and I loved it? What if I stood up for that person who's being put down and completely changed the trajectory of their day? I could go on and on. When sticking to what is familiar, what is comfortable, you risk confining yourself to a box. You never explore new ideas, people, or places. You risk not growing to your full potential because you are scared. So in the next phase of our lives, whether that be college, technical school, a gap year, or going straight into the workforce, I encourage all of us to take risks. Go out for that sport or intramural, join a frat or sorority, major in something you love doing, and go up to that person who seems completely different from you or you think is cute. Because seriously, what is the worst that could happen? I encourage all of you to be courageous and bold, to trust yourselves, to know it's okay to fail, and to take that risk. Thank you, Eisenhower. I wish us all the best in our future endeavors.
You want me to take it? You can keep it if you want. Okay. How about a round of applause for both of our student speakers this evening? Outstanding, both of you. At this time, I'd like to invite our senior class president, Samantha Baniel, to the stage. Samantha will continue the Eisenhower tradition of passing the class key to the rising class president for the class of 2025. That would be Alina Sidlars. I would ask her to please come and join us on stage as well. I shuffled my papers and I can't find the right ones now, excuse me. Samantha plans to pursue studies in psychology next year. She will do this in the honors program in the College of Arts and Sciences as a Badger at the University of Wisconsin. Samantha served her class and our school exceedingly well, and there's no doubt that she has an incredibly bright future. To be honest, I'm pretty sure that Samantha has been the senior class president for about the last 3 years, based on how involved, mature, and responsible she's been. As the principal of the school, if I ever needed something done, I would just ask, can someone please find me Samantha? Mr. Burghardt summed up what I think most of us feel about Samantha. He shared that she was always ready to take on new tasks and roles to make sure that jobs got done. She selflessly forgets the word no to make sure that all the things that need to be taken care of get done, and she would get those things done so that all of her peers at New Berlin Eisenhower wouldn't miss out on a wonderful opportunity. I can't think of a better way for someone to lead and serve a group of their peers than that. To share her thoughts with her classmates and to pass on the class key to our next senior class president, ladies and gentlemen, president of the class of 2024, Samantha Baniel.
everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Samantha Baniel, and I've had the honor and privilege of serving as the senior class president for the class of 2024. Now, the class sitting before you today has only heard me speak about a gazillion times, whether I'm in their email at 6:30 in the morning or on the private Snapchat story at 10:30 at night. I know the redundancy became obnoxious, but almost every message began with, "Hi, everyone." Writing these messages was often easy. Do this, don't do that, bring this, show up at this time, don't forget that. But summarizing the last 13 years of our lives has been anything but easy. To put it mildly, I was on the struggle bus for a few weeks, trying to figure out what I wanted to say. After all, I couldn't just ask Samantha. Usually she would know, but this time I didn't. So I started the way I always started. Hi, everyone. Congratulations to the class of 2024. You did it. Your hard work paid off. After today, your everyone will change, but for today, everyone is the people who endured advisories, class meetings, bus rides, MAPS testing, and the ever-elusive coronavirus with us. But everyone is also the people who won state championships with us, went to school dances with us, and celebrated the end of each school year with us. Everyone also includes students who entered kindergarten in different cities, states, and even countries. Everyone includes the students who were the last to walk the halls of Glen Park Elementary School, yet somehow we all ended up here today together in this moment. Growing up in an era of High School Musical, Teen Beach Movie, and of course, Hannah Montana, we saw an idealistic version of what high school could be like. Though our experiences were not identical to those in the movies, the education we received and the memories we made were invaluable. Memories such as arriving at school to learn you can't find your parking spot because it's covered in snow, getting in trouble because you somehow figured out how to turn off all the lights at a football game, burning bugs in science class to learn how many calories they were in them, putting a banana in the back of a classroom and letting it rot, and finding out that every single website you want to use is blocked. Oh, and we can't forget every single time that Mr. Winnan put up a 3 on the basketball team during Ike Madness. It would be a gross understatement to say that the staff at New Berlin Eisenhower is influential because they are so much more. On the toughest of days, our teachers made them fun and less challenging. Things like Mrs. Oaks' chimes, Mr. White's This Day in History, Mrs. Lou's Songlio, Mr. Greben's word walls, Senora Salmon's trash ball, Mr. Jem's yearly dignity speech, and Mrs. Cook's reaction experiments made life interesting. At this time, I would like to take a moment to highlight 2 Eisenhower staff members as 2024 graduates, also known as retirees. The first being Ms. Oaks. 7 years ago, we sang happy birthday to Ms. Oaks at our 7th grade camp, and she played her xylophone for us every single morning at 7:25. Today, she leaves her legacy with New Berlin Eisenhower, and morning announcements will never be the same. Thank you for always putting a smile on our faces and for keeping track of our attendance, even on the rainiest of days. And the second is sitting in this room with us today, Mrs. Donlin. Thank you for celebrating our achievements with us and supporting us every single day. Ms. Donlin has had so many groups of seniors, and we are so blessed to be her final senior class. Ms. Donlin, we will miss retirement-themed Wednesdays, but we wish you and Mrs. Oaks nothing but the best of luck in the next chapters of your lives. One other person I would like to recognize tonight is sitting on this stage, and that's Mr. Gemignani, also known as Mr. Gem. Mr. Gem, though you are moving on from your position as associate principal, we want to let you know that you had an incredible impact on all students at Eisenhower during your time here, and we will miss you so much, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck in the next stage of your career. In addition to our wonderful staff members, everyone includes the parents, guardians, family members, and friends sitting in this room with us today. Thank you for sitting at the counter helping us with our math homework, even though you didn't quite understand, because math is math. Thank you for sitting at the counter and helping us with the projects we waited until the night before to tell you about. Thank you for signing every single form the school ever sent home. Thank you for attending all of our concerts and sporting events. Thank you for buying every single Girl Scout cookie, Boy Scout popcorn, fan shirt, and raffle ticket. And most importantly, thank you for supporting us day in and day out, even when we made you want to rip your hair out. Once upon a time, graduation seemed so far away. 2024 was just a number that seemed as far as the moon. We dreamed of being royalty, astronauts, doctors, teachers, musicians, veterinarians, and more. Well, graduates, as scary as it might sound, that time called when you grow up is fast approaching. As looking towards the future, I think most of us can attest to the fact that we've been asked more times in the last year than in the last 13 years combined what we will do when we grow up. Suddenly, every single person wants to know what you're doing. The exciting thing about life is that no two of us will take the same path, as if it were the choose-your-own-adventure books we loved in elementary school. In the next chapter of your lives, your everyone will undoubtedly change and evolve. The people you do life with will change and change again when you least expect it, but embrace the change. With every opportunity, be cheerful, open, and say hi to everyone, even when it's because you must repeatedly answer the same questions. I have no doubt that you will all go on to be great humans and be incredibly successful. Congratulations and best of luck. Thank you. At this time, on behalf of the class of 2024, we would like to wish the class of 2025 the best of luck, and I am pleased to pass along the class key to the class president of the class of 2025, Alina Sidlars.
On behalf of the student body, I would like to give a special thank you to Samantha for all she has done and contributed to Eisenhower. And to our senior class as a whole, we say thank you. Thank you for leaving behind a legacy of excellence, friendship, and leadership. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and may your journey ahead be filled with success, happiness, and fulfillment. Congratulations and farewell.
How about one more round of applause for all of our students who took the very brave microphone this evening. Great work. It always makes me feel like we did our job, you know, like good speeches, good job. Thank you very much. Prior to presenting students to our superintendent and our school board for their diplomas, I'd like to take a moment and highlight two students in our graduating class for their unique and wonderful academic work. As you may know, the School District of New Berlin has a wonderful partnership and working relationship with several colleges and universities. Our school district takes great pride in helping students achieve their academic and career goals through our internal coursework as well as these wonderful partnerships. And this year, our friends at WCTC in Waukesha have helped us and two of our graduating seniors achieve a rare and magnificent feat. These two seniors will be receiving not only their high school diplomas, but have also earned the graduation distinction of earning an associate's degree upon graduation from high school. These two students completed all of the coursework required for high school graduation while also fulfilling the necessary college credits for their degrees. The first is Michaela Arndt, who received her associate's degree in criminal justice, and senior Jack Klein earned an associate's degree in electrical engineering technology. Michaela and Jack, I think you should stand up and be recognized. Well done. It's now my pleasure to introduce and welcome to the lectern Mr. Joe Garza, who I should always take pleasure in mentioning is a proud parent of two New Berlin Eisenhower graduates himself. But this evening, he's also the superintendent of the School District of New Berlin. Mr. Garza will officially present the class of 2024 to our school board for acceptance of their graduation. So he will be joined here by the clerk of the school board of New Berlin, Mrs. Amy Crosby, who hopefully will be accepting our graduating class on behalf of the board. Mr. Garza, the floor is yours.
As the superintendent of the School District of New Berlin, it is my honor and privilege to certify to the Board of Education of the School District of New Berlin that the students seated before you of the New Berlin Eisenhower class of 2024 have satisfactorily completed all high school graduation requirements for New Berlin Eisenhower High School, the School District of New Berlin, and the state of Wisconsin. As the superintendent of the School District of New Berlin, I am recommending to you, Board of Education clerk, Miss Amy Crosby, that all the students seated before you of the class of 2024 be high school graduates.
Thank you, Superintendent Garza. As clerk of the School District of New Berlin Board of Education, on behalf of the entire Board of Education and by the authority vested in me by the state of Wisconsin, I accept the New Berlin Eisenhower class of 2024 for graduation. I officially present to you the New Berlin Eisenhower class of 2024. Congratulations to all of our graduates and their families.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of my colleague and friend, Ms. Christine Springer, it is our distinct honor and privilege to present the class of 2024. We do ask that you hold your applause until the final name has been read. However, we do enjoy the occasional woot woo. We love a way to go, big fans of Attaboy, and we strongly encourage that's my granddaughter. So, with that, I present the class of 2024. Peyton Susan Actor. Peyton Renee Ailes. Isaiah Robert Allen. Marin Claire Anderson. Daniel James Anthes. Michaela Darlene Arndt. Samantha Grace Baniel. Anna Marie Bartles. Richard Dennis Basil. Samuel Robert Batchelor. Saishrians Reddy Biram. Caden Nicholas Behrens. Sujay Bardawaj. Bridget Grace Gleha. Luke Thomas Bockerman. Megan Anu Bowling. Brandon Paul Boucher. Brian Roberts Braum. Evan Anthony Brazaitis. Cheyenne Marie Brennan. Brady David Budlow. Allison Deborah Budzine. Jose Christian Burgos. Aiden James Collies. Neve Josephine Carroll. Nathaniel Vincent Bay Catania. Sahana Chandrasekhar. Prisha Chawla. Jonathan William Chen. Neely Grace Chiroff. Killian Thomas Sika. James Edward Collins. Elian Manuel Colon. Audrey Christine Crosby. Emily Jaden Daniel. Andrew John Davis. Garrick Darengowski. Austin Robert Drana. Taylor Joe Dudley. Caitlin Ray Farlow. McKenna Feinauer. Molly Elizabeth Flanagan. Caleb Frederick. Sydney Gabrielle Fry. Aiden Michael First. Morgan Matthew Gagnon. Catherine Josephine Girton. Meredith Robin Giese. Dina Marie Probadora Gonzalez. Sophia Diane Gooding. Hunter Owen Green. Karina Elise Heinrich. Enya Claire Hess. Dylan Charles Holschbach. Isabella Joy Hume. Alexis Lillian Jamiola. Abigail Marisa Jenkin. Nolan Kurt Johansson. Owen William Johns. William Chase Cabara. Jacob Michael Caldor. Dhruva Kalyani. Katharina Jean Kapitansky. Gabriella Antoinette Kaczynski. Addison Lee Kelly. Alexander Ryan Kemstra. Jacob Arthur Coiler. Harjot Singh Kazria. Ryan George Kisting. Thanks, Ryan. John Martin Klein. Josie Brenna Cole. Morella Sophia Connick. Anaya Princess Kappa. Lindiwe Mufuge Gumchu Kunga. Mary Elizabeth Kowitz. Axel John Cranes. Sydney Marie Coons. Jordan Dale Cumline. Avery Adele Kurtz. Shub Ashish Lahoti. Madeline Grace Landgraf. Lauren Lee. Mason Min Lee. Jack David Leborowski. Damian Matthew Lilly. Nico Lopipero. Good job, man. Alina Jolene Lowe. Lila Macagnon Osti.
Jack Edward Madden. Joshua Scott Mackinnon. Sai Prathul Monica Vinayagam. Macy McCormick. Ainsley Catherine McGrath. Madeline Gail Mena. Tamara McCanovich. Brody Francis Michalski. Alexander James Miller. Marissa Marie Miller. Manzoor Mohis. Harrison Francis Mueller. Eva Quinn Wynn. Aryan Korab Namani. Joseph Patrick O'Neill, Jr. Dmitry Oleknovich. Praneel Panda. Arya Amit Patel. Priyanshi Kalpesh Patel. Gabrielle Marie Patterson. Jack Lucas Pawlowski. Thomas Ralph Pera. Lila Ray Peterson. Lillian Ruth Plummer. Leah Nicole Pollen. Sohila Puduru. Alexandra Elizabeth Quant. Janika Renee Reed. Alan Michael Reifenrath. Aurelio Joaquin Sanchez. Alyssa May Lyles Santos. Owen Alexander Shar. Avica Mary Sebastian. Nolan Jeffrey Seidel. Ashwin Senthil Murugan. Michaela Sirio. Julia Grace Sharp. Jeffrey Allen Schuster. Andrea Victoria Sedello. Amudni Sivapuniam. Ty Aloys Robert Smits. Ava Grace Spar. Robert William Spielman. Sarah Catherine Stadler. Aiden Michael Stickney. Madeline Grace Steedeman. Jaden James Sebastian Zatkowski. Keegan Raymond Todick. Rebecca Deemer Talley. Evan Robert Tavera. Caden Tay. Jaden Tay. Lauren Kathleen Teese. Rebecca Therese Therignol. Jaden Scott Chavarro. Alexandra Urosevic. Vivian Irene Van Dyke. Anna Maureen Vasallo. Aiden Richard Vetter. Josephine Mercedes Volkman. Ethan An Vu. Emma Catherine Wensink. Foster Patrick Wiedenhoft. Lila Jane Wiesner. Liam Thomas Wiley. Caden James Wilson. Savannah Taylor Wingers. Megan Elizabeth Wisniewski. Rachel Karen May Zaudis. Daniel Chiwan Wu. Kyan Zhang. Yelena Zhezhel. Brandon Samansky Dolezal. Valerie Chen Zong.
They were all so nervous. It was fantastic. You did great. Congratulations to the class of 2024. You are so close to being done. I promise you. So close. But we have some official things we have to do. Some more official things. We did some official things. We have some more official things we have to do. So I'm going to need Senior Class President Samantha Baniel to please come back up to the stage to conduct our tassel ceremony. The gesture of moving the tassel from one side of the cap to the other symbolizes the movement from candidate to graduate. Prior to the ceremony, the tassel is always worn on the right side. During the ceremony, it's customary to move the tassel over to the left side after students receive their diplomas. This signifies the moment when students have officially moved on to the next stage of their education. So, Samantha, as our senior class president, as soon as I can find it. Just give me a moment. Samantha, could you please conduct the tassel ceremony for the Eisenhower class of 2024?
At this time, in preparation for the changing of the tassel, I cordially invite all graduating seniors to stand. To celebrate earning a diploma at Eisenhower High School, each graduate should now move the tassel on their cap from the right to the left. Congratulations, graduates.
I'm going to make them stand for just a bit longer. Just a reminder to our guests, we ask you to please remain in your seats so our graduates can recess. Families can meet your graduates at the front or near the front of the school, closest to Cleveland Avenue. It would also be a colossal mistake if I didn't encourage this entire audience to make their way to a girls' sectional final soccer game tomorrow at 5:30. And I promise I have not been checking my phone, so I hope there's another game tomorrow that we have the opportunity to attend as well. You can attend one and stream the other. But at this time, graduates, you have been facing me all evening. There's a whole bunch of people that would like to see you, so could you please turn around? And ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present the New Berlin Eisenhower class of 2024. We have one more official thing we need to do. So graduates, if you could turn your attention back to your class president. I believe we have one thing we need to do, yes? So I'm going to hand the microphone to class president Samantha Baniel. Parents, guests, friends, get your cameras ready. We are going to toss some caps. Are you ready? I'm going to hand the microphone. Here you go.
All right, everybody take your caps off. You're already standing, but take them off. All right, just like we practiced this morning. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. Congratulations to the class of 2024. Have a wonderful evening. Congratulations, graduates.